Good evening on your Monday. I'm forecaster Andrew Fleck for Analyst Weathercast, and I think it's safe to say as we reach tonight, some of those flood-staged rivers and action-staged rivers are now starting to crest. That's good news. Still over New Jersey, we have a few that are cresting, but are still cresting in moderate and major stage. But as Thursday comes into the agenda, more heavy rain is on its way. Very similar setup to what this one was. And I fear that another 2 to 3 inches could be coming for the Delaware and New Jersey basins once again. I'm going to show you the general setup here, then a weather model giving you the time frames, and then 2 local river gauges to explain a theory that I was thinking of earlier this morning. So first of all, we'll show you the pattern. What's going to happen toward tomorrow is you're going to start to get from the northern jet stream a trough that digs down here. There's going to be a low pressure that sits in here. This is the upper level low. This low is going to rush toward the Ohio Valley, and what's going to happen is this trough is still going to be digging around here. So it's going to come around about here, and the possibilities of having a low here is given, but the question is, does a low form like a secondary down across the southeast? If it does, the same setup is going to happen, and many, if not all, weather models show the secondary forming, so that's what we're sticking with. More rain coming for Thursday and early Friday. Now, in the next imagery, it really makes the most sense, because now you see that the Gulf and Atlantic energy begins to pull into the storm, and the northern jet stream breaks off. So now the southern jet stream is now starting to take care of this storm system. Again, you have the trough here, the secondary forms, blocking up here from the high pressure, same exact identical setup as we had on Sunday, and what's eventually going to happen is this low is going to ride up the coast and give more rain to the areas. Again, another 2 to 3 areas out of this past storm got up to 4, so I mean, you got to even take higher amounts than that at times when you have Atlantic and Gulf moisture being brought into the equation, but you do have that block being up there, so all the moisture has to suppress underneath it, and that's where the Gulf and Atlantic meet, and they touch up that storm with a lot more moisture. Again, that similar setup that we had Sunday, now going to be mentioned for Thursday. So now let's look at the weather models here. I'm going to show you 3 images here. This is the image where the primary first forms. There's going to be some severe thunderstorms across the Gulf states down here, but this is the primary right here. Okay, but notice that there is that trough, and that trough begins to align around the south here. So there's definitely some energy in here that's going to eventually initialize, because you had that little bit of that absorption from the initial low pressure here. High pressure up here, of course, and that's going to dig more to the northeast, and yet that low pressure will move right behind it. Now the next imagery, this is now for about early to the early afternoon on Thursday. You have that upper level, or that primary low, starts digging now into Michigan, but look how the trough extends all the way down to the southeast here. Definitely something's going to develop here, and models have shown that a low pressure does that secondary low, and all that heavy rain starts to develop early Thursday morning into the afternoon and begins coming east. So already the same exact setup taking place. And then I'll show you the last imagery here from the weather model, which begins to be late Thursday, if I can get it here. On late Thursday, again, there's the low pressure at secondary forms. You see how you have the primary, now the secondary sitting here. Look at the heavy rain over eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and southeast New York. I mean, it's obviously deja vu all over again. And the one difference that Sunday storm did not include with this upcoming Thursday storm is the trough behind it. It's digging a lot deeper, and a lot more moisture is going to get compressed into the system. So rather than seeing that pocket rain we had, this could be more of a blanket of heavy rain, and this one could be as worse as the one on Sunday. And a lot of models are agreeing on that. Even the Hydro Prediction Center at the National Weather Service are even already having those areas in a moderate risk for flooding. That's day 3 moderate risk for flooding. I've not seen that ever. So they're that much confident. And why not when we've already had a heavy rain event on Sunday? And speaking of that heavy rain event on Sunday, this is where I bring up to the topic about some of these rain gauges that still, and the Delaware River being one of them, in Easton at flood stage. It's expected to get down from action stage by tomorrow night, and then be getting down even closer to normal by 7 p.m. Wednesday. The problem is, though, it doesn't really get down on its banks too much. If the heavy rain is beginning in these points right here, and it only gets to about 10 to 12 feet, okay, that's an easy rise if you get heavy rain. That's only about a 6-foot rise till you're at flood stage. Okay, there's a bit of a difference with the Sunday one. You were at 6 feet here, it rose 18 feet, and got to about 22 feet. So it had more to rise from. But if you're talking about having, okay, the heaviest rain starting within this time frame right here, and the river's only going to get to this point of 10 feet, you add 18 feet on to about 12, and you're talking about close to 30 feet possible if this storm would produce the risings that this Sunday storm did. So that's the theory of what I'm thinking here, is that although this is going to crest, it's going to take a while to go down to normal. And this heavy rain for Thursday might start even before that goes to normal. So instead of this having a longer ways to go to rise, it might already be a few feet under action stage, and the heaviest rain, just like we had on Sunday, could rise it up to flood stage, maybe moderate stage, in no time. So this is why this is such a major concern coming up on Thursday. And then I'll also show New Jersey. I don't want to leave out New Jersey. I do cover that zone. New Jersey and Pompant River at Pompant Plains at 20.32 right now as of this evening. It's going to still be in action stage by about Wednesday afternoon, and probably just coming out of action stage once the heaviest rain begins on Thursday. There's not going to be much time for this to recede down and very much below its banks, and I think this is more of a concern than I think Sunday was, to be quite frank with you guys. So I will monitor this just like I monitored the Sunday storm, and do my best. I know I have a busy weekend coming up, so I'm not sure how much I can really get in here, but definitely my updates following this Thursday storm, and even into Friday, I guess, I'll be doing the best I can. But I just want to at least tell you guys the same setup that I showed on those colored maps is very similar to Sunday. In fact, even some more dynamics and heavier rain than Sunday possible out of this storm on Thursday, and showing you the time frame on the model. It's going to come, and it's going to hit about the same time frame that Sunday did as well. So I just hope that you all take this at a serious note, and that not just myself, but the National Weather Service also thinks that this could be a bigger flooding concern than Sunday once was. So I'm forecaster Andrew Fleck for your Monday evening update. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.